Alright guys, I'm going to show you our cheap and easy chicken brooder today. It has a lot of room for a lot of birds. Right now I just have 4 little chicks in here, but we have done a lot more in a little brooder this size. We have also done plastic tote brooders and those have worked well. But if you have more than 5 or so chicks, they grow out of them really fast. So this has worked for us. We've never lost a bird this way. I know it's ugly. So we obviously just have a little kiddie pool here filled with wood chips, and I've got 4-foot tall chicken wire I wrapped around. So we just punched holes in the top of the lip here on the pool and all the way around. And then you wrap your chicken wire around it pretty tight. You don't want them to be able to jump up and kind of fit through there. They don't really try to get through there, but just make sure it's wrapped around tight, and then use zip ties or wire or something to secure it. It's kind of hard to tell here, but where your chicken wire meets, just zip tie it and secure it. As far as setup goes, we just have a little clip-on heat lamp, and we have a dolly over here, so easy to move around. We just clip it on. The dolly has these little rungs, and we can move the heat lamp up or down depending on as the chicks get older, it's gonna get raised up so they don't need as much heat. Also, it's just pointed at this one little side, so during the afternoons and whatnot, we're out in the shop, kind of like a garage, so it's not heated, it's not cooled. In the afternoons, when they may be feeling a little warm, they can get away from the heat. So that's another nice thing about this, is it's pretty big, so they have room to move around, move away from the heat if they want. So if you're worried that they're gonna fly out the top or whatever, at this age they won't. They're too small, they can't do it. But as they get bigger, before they're quite ready to go outside, you might be getting a little worried about that. You can use just a simple carabiner, and I apologize if you can hear the wind out here. It's just rattling the door like crazy. So you can just grab, watch out for your lamp, grab 2 sides, pull them together, and then just pull the other 2 sides and hook them in there. So there will still be these gaps right here, but if the chicken flies up and it hits the wire, it's not going to it's just gonna fall back down. It's not gonna try to get out. And if it does, well, it's their funeral, that's one crazy chicken. But anyways, we had 20 some odd meat birds in here. As they got older, we split them into 2 of the same type brooder, so they had a little more room to run around. We didn't have any issue. They didn't fly out. They didn't get stuck. Nothing happened. And these guys have done well in here so far. So as far as the setup inside of here, I got this little wire basket, just very simple little basket. I've got it upside down, and we put the water on top of that. So just trying to keep some of the wood chips and everything out of there, and it has worked well so far, but they're still pretty young, so we'll see what happens. We'll see if they knock it over, but that has helped some. And then I've got their food just up on a little piece of scrap wood to kind of try to help keep the wood chips out of that also, because that's just a huge annoyance, is their bedding always ends up in the food and water. But that's just part of having chicks in a brooder. This is my cheap, easy brooder, and it is not pretty, but we barely had to spend any money on it. It took maybe 10 minutes to set it up. We have tons of chicken wire around the homestead. These pools are very cheap, so it's you don't always have to spend a ton of money building something, a ton of time. It doesn't have to be super difficult. It's just, if it works, then it's good. And we've been able to reuse it for multiple rounds of birds, which is easy. We just, if you have the room, just toss it over I put it on its side, toss it over in the corner, whatever. So that's that. Thanks for watching.